Hello, baseball fans. Anthony with BBSN, and we have been away, well, sporadically over the last couple of weeks due to football season starting and some commitments I have with a couple of high schools here related to that. But we are back, and we have start number 18 of the 1969 Ferguson-Jenkins replay. And today the Expos come into the friendly confines, and Fergie will be opposed by Howie Reed. The Expos in real life won this game 3-2 on 6/21/1969. And their lineup for today's game: Adolfo Phillips, who also spent time on the Cubbies during the 1969 season, leads off. Coco LeBoy bats second at third. Trusty Rusty Staub, Grande Orange in right field hits third. The Mayor of Jonestown, Mac Jones in left, hitting cleanup. Ron Fairley at first base. Gary Sutherland at second. Ron Brand behind the dish. Bobby Wine at short. And Howie Reed, again, will be on the hill for the Spos. And for the Cubbies, not too many changes. Kessinger at short leads off. Popovich, who has been a staple in the lineup at second recently, is there again tonight. Sweet swinging Billy Williams bats third and left. Ron Santo at the hot corner hits cleanup. Ernie Banks at first. Randy Hundley behind the dish. Jim Hickman in right field. Don Young in center, and Fergie on the mound. In real life, Fergie was 8-4 with a 2.79 ERA coming into this game. And during the replay, he's had a decision in every single start. He is a stellar 14-3, 1.89 ERA, 133 innings pitched, which is 2/3 more than he had in real life at this point. 90 hits, 21 less than his real life total. 17 walks, which is 10 less than his real life total at this point. And 119 Ks, 11 more than his real life total. And in games that Fergie has started, the Cubbies, of course, are 14-3 in the replay. In real life, they were 11-6. So we are ready to go. Adolfo Phillips steps in. Let's play ball. 3 is going to be a tough rating, and that'll be a fly out to left field to start the game. Phillips goes down. Today, too, I'm going to introduce fun facts. Just, I guess, kind of baseball trivia or baseball facts every 3 innings to kind of liven things up a little bit. 7's going to be in play. Coco LeBoy against the righty, and that's going to be a ground ball back to Jenkins. Whips it over to Banks. 1-3 on the putout and 2 down. Grande Orange, Rusty Staub steps in against Fergie, and that's going to be in play, and that's going to be a hard shot down the right field line. And Rusty comes into second base with a double. So the Spos threatening early, runner in scoring position, 2 outs, and the Mayor of Jonestown, as he was affectionately known, steps in. 8's going to be tough. And Fergie, high and tight, swing and a miss, strike 3. So 1 hit for the Spos, no runs. We go to the bottom of the first inning. No score, and Cubbies coming to bat. So Don Kessinger leads it off. 9 is going to be an in-play result, and 59, a fly out to right. So Kessinger retired. Paul Popovich, second baseman up. And 5, patient, and that was an 8, not a 0. And that will be a fly out to left, so 2 down for the Cubbies. And sweet swinging Billy Williams. Tough, and 46, Williams, he's going to just miss that, and a pop up to shortstop, just got under it. So the Cubs go down 1-2-3 in the first. We head to the top of the second, no score. And again, the first of our fun facts tonight, and they'll be every 3 innings after this. Kind of interesting, I was looking at, obviously there's an enormous amount of strikeouts in today's game, as Ron Fairley, it's going to be a fly out to right field. With many batters currently in the game approaching 200 on a yearly basis. 1932, Joe Sewell, playing shortstop for the Yankees at that time, he was up 503 at bats and struck out just 3 times on the entire season, which is absolutely phenomenal. Probably one of the greatest, along with Willie Keeler, and if you want a more modern player, perhaps someone like Rod Carew, but Sewell, probably without a doubt, the greatest contact hitter, toughest to fan in baseball history. And in his career with the Yankees, which accounted for a total of 1,511 at-bats, he only struck out a total of 15 times. So, fun fact on shortstop Joe Sewell and Gary Sutherland, we are going to the Glory Days Baseball Rare Play chart. Double zeros, and it's going to be in the first column here. Nobody on base. And 46, possible injury to pitcher. Check injury rating against next number, which that doesn't apply to this game. So Fergie is a durable. That would not be good. Fergie gets knocked out of the box in his replay. All right, injury ratings. Where are we? That's actually on the chart that I am using. All right, so durable 0 to 69, he is okay. Let's hope for low numbers. 89, and Fergie, he is gone for the rest of the day. So Jenkins, an early exit, as he is going to last exactly 1 1/3 of an inning. So he will at last get a no decision in the replay, as he goes 1 1/3, gives up a single hit, no runs, no walks, 1 strikeout, and of course no home runs. So we need to go to the bullpen, and our long reliever is going to be Dick Selma. So Selma in for Fergie. And luckily they use the same batting card. All right, and we'll see how that plays into the outcome of this game. So Selma is warmed up. Gary Sutherland at the plate still, and that's going to be tough. And 85 will be a ground ball to shortstop. 6-3 on the putout, 2 down. So Selma's fatigued, and we'll treat him like a starter, so he'll get to go into the 8th inning. And if he has given up 2 runs or less, he will not be fatigued. And 4 are going to be ballpark. 96 will be in play for Ron Brand. And the Expos catcher. And that is going to be a single, so 2-out single. Ron Brand on, shortstop Bobby Wine up. And 6, patient, 23, and that is going to be a single. And with 2 outs, Brand no need to use the fast action cards. He will make it over to third base. So the Expos, 2 down, runners on the corners, and the pitcher, Howie Reed, up. And Reed, 5 is going to be tough, and that's going to be a swing and a miss. So Selma comes in, gets in a little bit of trouble. 2 hits for the Expos. They leave 2, head to the bottom of the 2nd inning, no score still. And Ron Santo leading off the 2nd for the Cubbies. It's going to be an in-play result, and that'll be a ground ball down to the pitcher. So Howie Reed snares that, whips it over to first base, 1 down. Mr. Cubby comes up, Ernie Banks. And that's going to be in play, and Banks, sharp single back up the middle, and the Cubbies have their first base run of the ball game. Ernie's going to stay put, and Randy Hundley. Ernie is not a stealer at this point of his career. And 4, that'll be in play, and 18, and Hundley, another single. And that is going to be a sharp line drive into center field. Runner on first advances a single base. So runners on first and second. And the Cubbies, sans Fergie looking to get on the board. A tough result, and that is going to be a swing and a miss. Hickman blown away by a Howie Reed fastball above the letters, 2 down. And center fielder Don Young up. Here comes a pitch. And 11 going to be a defensive check. And that'll be an error check on shortstop. And with a die roll of 7, no matter what, that is going to be an E6. And error on the infield will be a 1-base error. So bases are loaded now, 2 outs. And Selma will try and help his own cause here. Howie Reed fires and in play, and that's going to be a fly out to shallow left field. Coming in to put that away is the Mayor of Jonestown, Mac Jones. So the Cubbies get a couple of hits and an error, but they leave the bases loaded, and we head to the top of the 3rd inning, no score. And top of the order for the Expos, Adolfo Phillips leads it off. 9, they're going to be patient, and Phillips going to draw base on balls. So he trots down to first base, and Phillips gets a lead. He is a D, not going to try and steal. Coco LeBoy up next. And 7, that's tough, and 54, LeBoy wraps out one. Line drive into center field. Runner on first advances 1 base. So first and second, station to station for the Expos. And we've got some action here. Nobody out for the Grande Orange. Rusty Staub. And 6 will be patient. And Staub going to load him up. So Fergie, again, we'll get the no decision in this. And Selma now just trying to avoid a disaster. Nobody out. Bases loaded for Mac Jones. And 3, that'll be in play. And that's going to be a ground ball down to shortstop. And that is within the double play range of both hitter and pitcher. So coming in to score, Adolfo Phillips' first run of the ball game. Over to third goes LeBoy and Jones. 6-4-3 double play. Staub is erased at second base. 2 outs. Runner on third for Ron Fairley. The human hit by pitch machine. And 10 is going to be tough. And Fairley, that is going to be a fly out to left field. So Selma avoids what could have been an absolute total disaster. Walks a couple, gives up a hit, but gets out of it with only a single run. And we head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Expos 1, Cubbies 0. Don Kessinger up. And Kessinger, that's going to be in play, and he's going to wrap that into the gap in left center. Kessinger rounds first, coming into second base, no throw. And he has a stand-up double to lead off the Cubbies' 3rd for Paul Popovich. 3, another in-play result. That's a ground ball down to shortstop. So up with that is Wine, rips it over to Fairley, and holding on second base is Kessinger, 1 down for sweet swinging Billy Williams. And Billy Williams in play, and that is a ground ball to second base. So over to third goes Kessinger. And Williams retired 4-3. Runner on third for the Cubbies, 2 outs. Ron Santo comes up. And here comes a pitch, and that'll be in play. 52 is a ground ball down to third base. So a leadoff double goes by the boards. And the Cubbies, 1 hit, leave 1. We head to the top of the 4th inning, 1-0 Expos. Gary Sutherland coming to bat. And that'll be a tough result. And Sutherland, fly out to shallow right field. Coming in to glove that is Jim Hickman, 1 down. Catcher Ron Brandt, who singled and was stranded at third his first time up. And 7 going to be tough, and that will be a ground ball down to third base. Up with that is Santo, whips it over to Banks, 2 down. Shortstop Bobby Wine, the feeble hitting Bobby Wine, steps in. And 4, that's going to be Ballpark, and Wheelhouse Wine got a little bit of pop in his bat. He cranks, and that's going to be a harmless ground ball to Santo. Hard hit to Hopper. Santo over to Banks. 1-2-3 go the Expos, and we head to the bottom of the 4th. 1-0 Expos. And at the end of this inning, I have another fun fact. 7, Howie Reed. That's going to be in play, Ernie Banks. And that'll be a ground ball down to third base, 1 down. So Coco LeBoy, a nice backhand play on Banks. Randy Hundley up. And 9, that'll be in play, and that'll be a fly ball to left field. Going back is Mac Jones in front of the track, pulls it in, 2 away. Up next, right fielder Jim Hickman for the Cubbies. And that'll be an in-play result, and a ground ball down to third base. So LeBoy, 2 putouts in the inning, and the Cubbies again go 1, 2, 3. And we head to the top of the 5th, 1-0 Expos. And 1921, did you know that the 1921 World Series was the absolute first one that was where all games, the best of 9, all games were played in the same park, the Polo Grounds in New York at the time. The Yankees had left Hilltop Stadium and were sharing the Polo Grounds with the Crosstown Giants as they waited for the house that Ruth built to be constructed. Another fact about that game, each team had a brother, Bob Measle for the Yankees and Emil Measle for the Giants, both outfielders. And Bob, the better of the 2 players, went on to was a large part of the Yankees for several years, including the 1927 team, which featured 6 Hall of Famers: Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Herb Pennock, Miller Huggins, Wade Hoyt, Earl Combs, and Tony Lazzeri. So Measle, unfortunately, not included, but was still a big part of that team. So leading off for the Expos will be pitcher Howie Reed, and that'll be a swing and a miss. So Reed goes down on strikes for the 2nd time. Back to the top of the order, Adolfo Phillips. And Adolfo was a fairly anemic hitter during his time with the Expos. Patient, and that's going to be a fly out to left field. So sweet swinging Billy Williams flashing the leather and left. 2 down for Coco LeBoy. And a wild dice. 6, that'll be patient, and that's going to be a fly ball to center field. Coming in to take that one on the run is Don Young, and the Expos go down in order in the 5th. So as was common in 1969, we are in another pitcher's duel. Fergie no longer part of it, of course. Tough to Don Young leading off. And that is going to be a single. So Young, sometimes it pays to strike out a lot, as that results in a sharp single back up the middle. And the Cubbies again have a leadoff base runner on, and Selma comes up. He's going to lay down a bunt. And he is a B. So 83, and that will be a successful sacrifice hit. And the catcher is going to come out, pick that one up, and whip it down to first base. So sacrifice 2, 3, and 1 away. And parked at second base is Don Young, top of the order. Don Kessinger doubled his last time up. Could use a little bit more of that magic. And 6, that's going to be patient. Kessinger takes 4 wide ones, trots down to first. That sets up the double play again. First and second, 1 down for Paul Popovich. Cubbies again threatening. 5, and that'll be patient. And not patient enough, as that is going to be a fly out to center field. Runners hold, 2 down. Runners on first and second, and the meat of the order, sweet swinging Billy Williams. And 8, that's going to be tough, and sweet swinging Billy Williams with and nothing but air. He goes down on strikes, and the Cubbies, again, a couple of base runners, but they make no hay, and we head to the top of the 6th, still 1-0 Expos. And the shadow set across Wrigley Field. We will correct the lighting there as Rusty Staub, the Grande Orange, leads off against Selma, and that's going to be tough. Staub, a big cut, and hard to strike out, but he missed that one. Back to the dugout he goes. A little bit of Special K breakfast cereal from Selma to Staub. Mac Jones up. And that is going to be a fly out to right field, 2 down. Ron Fairley steps in, the lefty. And that'll be a tough result. And 73, fly out to shallow center field. Coming in to put that one away is Don Young, and the Expos again down in order. So Selma, minus that little bit of scuffling in the 3rd inning, he has since set down 11 in a row. So we head to the bottom of the 6th inning, still 1-0, Expos on top. And Ron Santo, one swing of the bat can pull this even. Tough, not going to happen here. It's a ground ball down to shortstop. And Bobby Wine, a nice play on that, whips it over to first base. Fairly gloves it, 1 down. Mr. Cubby, Ernie Banks up next, and 7 will be in play. That's going to be a fly out to left field. Going back is Mac Jones. Hauls that in over the shoulder, whips it back into the infield, 2 away for Randy Hundley, the Cubs backstop. And 9 in play, and Hundley, as he has done all season, and Fergie starts, comes through with a single, drives out, falls into shallow left field in front of Jones. So 2 outs, runner on first for Jim Hickman. And tough, and Hickman, swing and a miss, sit him down. Strike 3, and Reed, again, flirts with a little bit of trouble, gets out of it. Cubs leave 1. We head to the top of the 7th inning. And Expos lead it, 1-0. Gary Sutherland to face Selma, and that's going to be an in-play result. And a ground ball down to second base. Popovich over to Banks, 1 down. 12 in a row set down by Selma, who is pitching admirably in place of Fergie. And 10, that's going to be a tough result, and it'll be a fly out to shallow center field. So Brand goes down as Young makes the play. 2 down for shortstop Bobby Wine, and Wine today is 1 for 2. 3, and that's going to be an in play, and a ground ball down to Santo. Santo over to Banks, and 3 up, 3 down again. So 14 in a row set down as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning at the old ball game. Shout out to Chris at Strat-O-Matic, Delaware. The finest 7th inning stretch crooner on the YouTube sports replay circuit. As Don Young and then the pitcher spot due up, and that is a vital decision. We'll see what happens with Young. And that is going to be a defensive check and range check on second base. And at second base for the Expos, Gary Sutherland, he is a C. And he's going to get to that easily. Whips it over to Fairley at first, and 1 down. And we have got to bring in a pinch hitter. Hank Aguirre is going to be the Cubs pitcher. He starts to warm up, and he will get his 2 batters in. So Selma actually pitched very well. Went 5 2/3 innings. And gave up 3 hits, 1 run. It was earned. Walked 2 and struck out 3. So a good outing for Selma in place of Fergie, who was hurt in the 2nd inning. He will not miss a start. He'll be back for his next time out. And pinch hitting for the Cubbies. It's going to be Al Spanky Spangler. And Spangler, the left-hander, steps in. And Reed winds up. Here's a pitch, and tough. Spangler not able to fight that off. A weak ground ball down to third base. So 5-3 on the putout and 2 down. Back to the top of the order, Don Kessinger. Yeah, Spangler heads back to the dugout. And Aguirre will be ready to come in for the Cubbies. 3, that's going to be in play. 28 to Kessinger, and Kessinger, his 2nd hit of the day, a 2-out single. So that drops in front of center fielder Adolfo Phillips, and the Cubbies need to start a little 2-out magic. 9, that'll be in play, and Popovich singles, and Kessinger over to third base, so first and third for the Cubbies. And that brings up the big stick. Sweet swinging Billy Williams steps in against Reed, and the Expos are going to get some action going in their bullpen. And the vaunted veteran, Roy Face, baseball's early relief specialists, or one of the first great relief specialists, begins to warm up. And sweet swinging Billy Williams, 10, that's going to be tough. And Williams, a harmless fly ball to right field. So Reed gets out of it. Cubbies, a couple of hits, and again, leave 2 runners on. So they have had several opportunities against Reed, but he has held them at bay. And we head to the top of the 8th inning. Reed is going to lead off, and he's staying in the game. Expos are going to ride him. Hank Aguirre, patient. And that is going to be a fly out to right field, 1 down. And first time Reed has not struck out today. Top of the order, Adolfo Phillips and Aguirre, 7. That'll be patient, and against the left-hander, that's going to be a fly out to right field, 2 down. So Coco LeBoy has grounded out and single today. Also flown out to center field. He's 1 for 3 and 5. That'll be an in-play result. And LeBoy against the lefty, that's going to be a single back up the middle. So the Expos, with just their 4th hit of the day, Boy on at first, and Rusty Staub steps in. 3, that'll be tough, and against the left-hander, be a ground ball down to second base, and up with that is Popovich, whips over first base, and the side is retired. And our final fun fact of the day, we were on 1921 earlier, so let's just stay there. 1921 was actually the year that the Baby Ruth candy bar was introduced, and it was, according to the manufacturer, in honor of a certain baseball player, but it was not Babe Ruth. The manufacturer of the company indicated it was actually made as a tribute to Grover Cleveland Alexander's late daughter, Ruth. So there you go, the Baby Ruth. Allegedly not named after Babe Ruth, but 1921 was when it made its debut, which was also the first year the Yankees were in the World Series. And Ron Santo set to start off the 8th against Howie Reed. 5, that'll be patient, and Santo unable to do anything with that, and that'll be a fly out to center field, 1 down. And Adolfo Phillips gets it back in. Ernie Banks is up, and here comes a pitch from Reed. And 8, that'll be tough, and Ernie, big swing and a big miss, strike 3. So Howie Reed puts the dangerous Ernie Banks down. 2 outs, Randy Hundley up. And Hundley, he has come through in the past. Patient, 25, and that's going to be a base on balls. So trotting down to first base, Randy Hundley, and second time he's been on. 3rd time he's been on, actually. 2 singles and a walk. And that brings up Jim Hickman, and 11 will be a defensive check. And it's going to be an error check on third base. Coco LeBoy resides there, and he is a 3, roll of 22. And that is going to be an error for third base. That will be a 1-base error, so he boots that. Runners on first and second now. 2 outs for the Cubs. And any damage done at this point will be unearned. Face is ready to go if needed. They're going to leave Reed in to pitch to Young. And here comes a pitch in play, and he gets him. Ground ball down to shortstop. So Howie Reed once again dodges problems. The Cubbies no hits, but they have a couple of base runners and 2 left. And we head to the top of the 9th inning. And the Expos clinging to a 1-0 lead. As Mac Jones steps in to face Aguirre. Here comes a pitch, and that'll be in play, and Jones, a ground ball back to Aguirre, whips it over to Banks, 1 down. Ron Fairley, lefty on lefty matchup. 6 is going to be tough, and 82, lefty on lefty crime. Ground ball down to Popovich, and Pop guns him down, 2 away. Gary Sutherland, the batter. 2, Wheelhouse Sutherland, and a big swing, and it dies at the warning track. Fly out to right field, and back to take that in is Hickman. So 3 up, 3 down for the Expos, and we are heading to the bottom of the 9th inning. Our score, Montreal 1, Chicago 0. And hitting for the pitcher to lead off the 9th is going to be the youngster, Oscar Gamble. So Gamble hit .235 against righties. The Cubs have a very sparse bench, so really not many options there. So here we go. Last shot for the Cubbies, and the fans are on their feet trying to coax a rally out of the boys. And 8, that'll be tough, and a fly ball to right field. Easy routine put out there for Rusty Staub, 1 down. And back to the top of the order, Don Kessinger steps in. Harry Reid looking to go the distance and stifle the Cubs. He did it in real life. Can he do it in the replay? And 57, and just missed the single there. A nice diving catch by Staub out and right, 2 down, and Cubbies down to their final out in the form of Paul Popovich. He steps in. Here comes a pitch from Reed. In play result, and a high fly ball to left field. Camping under that is Mac Jones. Taps the chest, puts it away, and the side is retired. 1, 2, 3 in the 9th, and that is it. The Cubbies go down to the Montreal Expos 1-0 in a great pitcher's duel between Howie Reid and several Cubby starters. And final line score for the Expos. They get 1 run on 5 hits. And they have a couple of errors. Did not come back to bite them. And the Cubbies, they get no runs on a total of 7 hits. And no errors for the Cubs. So the winner of this, Howie Reid, he goes the distance, outduels Ferguson Jenkins, and again gives up 7 hits. Got into a little bit of trouble at times with walks. He walked a couple in key situations and struck out 1, 2, 3. Struck out 4 Cubbies. So Howie Reid gets the win, and he will be the player of the game for the Expos. Loser is Dick Selma. He pitched well, but not well enough. And finishing it off for the final 2 innings, throwing 1 hit ball, was Hank Aguirre. And again, Fergie knocked out of this one with an injury in the 2nd inning. It was just for the rest of the game. He will not miss a start. So he will be back on the hill for start 19. And again, thank you to everyone for watching, and I'll again try and get on a little bit more frequently. It's going to be tough at times during football season as I have other game night stuff going on and game planning assistance during the week. Kind of a consulting role. What's going to up next for the channel, we do have to get back on the track, get a red, white, and blue racing in, so that will be next, and then we'll get back to Tottenham. Probably before I do the race, so it's been a while since we've done a vlog. Last one we did was on the Conlon Connection baseball cards. And I wanted to talk a little bit of boxing. And as you who follow the channel know, designing a boxing game, Glory Days Boxing, which is continuing to come along in development. Actually rated a few more heavyweights this week. And a title fight is on the horizon there. Rocky Marciano decisioned Mike Tyson in an eliminator to earn a crack at Jack Dempsey's heavyweight belt. So that will be on tap. But for our next vlog, I want to talk little bit about, it's actually going to be part of a series, the triumphs and tragedies of the ring that I'll do from here time to time. This will be a tragedy, actually, sorry. And it will kind of be, it'll be surrounding the Luther McCarthy, Arthur Pelkey fight. And of course, both came up during the White Hope era in the teens in the early part of the 20th century, as society looked for someone to challenge Jack Johnson, the first African-American heavyweight champion. So it's going to be a little bit of background about both fighters, story about the fight, and some talk associated with that, and at the time what was dubbed the White Heavyweight Championship of the world, which these two fought for. So that'll be up next in a vlog, and again back on the track after that with Red, White, and Blue Racing. So once again, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please hit that thumbs up and subscribe, but feel free to leave comments. Appreciate all the support. We're coming up on 200 subscribers. We have 190 currently. So once we get to 200, we're going to have another giveaway by the channel. And as we get up to that point, I'll reveal the details of that. So if you haven't subscribed, subscribe, please. And actually, the giveaway will be related to Glory Days Boxing, so more details to come. So until next time, keep rolling for the fences, and have a good night, everyone. See ya.